Lots of people are always asking me, what's it like to be in an interracial marriage? So today, Jabzz and we're going to chat some of these things through. Okay, so what's the main thing that you think makes an interracial relationship last?
What makes it last?
Yeah.
I don't know, I think it's probably the mixture of cultures.
Yeah.
Because it keeps it more exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah. It's about embracing the differences rather than going against them.
Yeah.
And just thinking, like, how can this add and bring more excitement in? I mean, what your culture is boring to you and my culture is boring to
Boring to you, yeah, but exactly. But when we're experiencing each other's culture, it's different, isn't it? That's what makes it exciting. Where are you getting these questions from?
Yeah. So these are the questions that people have been asking us on our messages, directly to
Right, okay.
Yeah, and the next thing is, what are the challenges we face as an interracial...
Interracial.
Interracial. My challenge is I can't pronounce half the things. I can't even say my own surname.
Challenges.
I can't speak your language. So if you and your
Well, that's a challenge. There you go.
That's a challenge. I can't say my surname properly, so I say Malanga, and it's supposed to be Machlanga.
Mhlanga.
Machlanga. I can't do the whole... No,
You can't do the
I'm
clicks.
still learning. So I think that's one of the challenges, because as much as I can respect your culture, it doesn't mean I can become...
I think our biggest challenge is probably when it comes to kids.
I was going to say that.
Parenting.
Yeah.
Because we were brought up in totally different worlds and cultures. So it's my style of parenting and my experience, should I say, is totally different to yours.
Yeah, and it comes back to in our culture, children are very much seen as dependents. So they didn't ask to be born. We bring them into the world, so they are dependent upon us to be raised up until they're 18. So my culture is very much that kind of means looking after and nurturing, whereas your kind of culture is make them become independent as soon as possible.
Yeah, but that's the job of a parent.
Looking after the parent.
Yeah, but the job of the parent is to teach your children to be able to survive in the world on their own.
Yeah, so that's a challenge, but I guess it's about meeting in the middle, you know.
Nah, there's no meeting in the middle.
There is. We can't go all the way into yours and you can't go all the way into mine. You have to meet somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, but we're being breastfed.
Challenge is getting that balance. I'm happy with the kids emptying the dishwasher, cleaning their rooms, doing stuff that I didn't really... Well, I did have to do some of this.
You did not do any of those things.
I did. I had a Saturday morning job of cleaning the shower.
I've watched your dad and he does everything for you, your mum, everything. You have never lifted a finger.
No, that's not true. My brother's never lifted a finger. Me and my sister did.
Okay. I'm going to ask him.
See, my culture isn't that dissimilar, but I never had to cook, and that's something that I think is good about your culture. You were taught.
Yeah, you got to because you got to survive.
And I'm glad that we're teaching our children how to cook. But my mum wouldn't even let me in the kitchen. What are the things you would want to change now, and why, about our relationship?
I think I'd probably want to change experience. I probably want you to experience what my culture is like. Because I've lived here for a long time. Because remember, I've moved here. So you've never been to where I've come from.
I think I'd be more put off.
I don't think you'd be put off because you'd have to go there with open eyes.
To see the country.
Exactly, to be able to see exactly how I was brought up, how other people were brought up.
One thing I really admire about your culture is the level of the manners and the respect the children have. And I've witnessed that when we've had friends come to our house, and the difference in how well-mannered they've been, and not just with their words, but they've picked up the plates and took it to the thing and actually washed it up. And I've never seen anyone...
It's just a basic thing.
Any of Josiah's British friends do that. You'll be lucky if you get a please or thank you.
No.
Which some of them do, to be fair, but like it goes
I have to admit,
beyond
that is one thing I cannot stand is bad manners.
Yeah. The thing that I also get frustrated with is just the laid back attitude. Like, it's good in one sense, but nothing ever gets done.
It does.
Nothing ever gets done.
It'll get done just now.
Talked about.
It'll get done just now.
See, this just now means never.
What?
It just means never. It means you're thinking about it.
Yes, there's got to be.
Get around to
There's got to be a thought. There's a process. There's got to be thought. Then there's got to be movement. Why is everything in a rush all the time? What are you in a hurry for?
If you take all day to do one thing, what about the rest of the things? And then it all mounts up.
Prioritize happiness over everything else.
What happened when you told your family and friends about your relationship?
Well, the fact that I was going to marry I was with a white girl. Well, nothing really.
Not bothered.
The question wasn't even not bothered at all. I've always grown up in a multicultural society. Anyway, my school,
Yeah.
my junior school I went to Jewish school, so I grew up with Jewish kids.
Predominantly white.
And then high school was the same. I mean, those affluent white kids, affluent black kids.
Yeah.
My mum grew up in England anyway, so she probably experienced more of the...
Yeah, she probably experienced more racism.
Yeah.
Because she was like, I remember her telling me she was the only black girl in her school.
The only black in the village. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. Like, I've grew up at very mixed cultural school. There was an even mix of black and white children.
And your parents being church parents as well.
Yeah. So it was never a thing. It was never it was more important for them that we had the same values. And that we clicked personality wise, we had the similar interests, and that we love and respected each other. Yeah. Ethnicity was never a question. Although I don't think my family were surprised when I told them, because they've always known I fancy black guys more than white guys.
You like the black boys?
Once you go back, once you go black.
You don't go back. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
What are you afraid that I won't understand about your culture?
I guess I've always tried to introduce things gradually and try and explain how things are or the reason why I do things. So I don't know, I think it goes down again to like the kids, raising the kids. I think it's more of a parenting thing. It's more of a challenge, I think, when we're parenting, because I think more of my culture comes out when I'm parenting than it does.
I guess the discipline.
When it's in our relationship, so a lot of it is, because I'm very big on discipline and respect.
And every action having a consequence.
Yeah.
I would
But
I would happily pick and choose the bigger things to have consequences and maybe overlook some of the smaller mistakes.
Yeah, so I'm probably a bit too over the top when it comes to the small...
I'm over the top on nurture and encouragement because I feel like that breeds better behaviour. Yeah. But we've never tried either one because we're always at loggerheads.
Yeah, but that's the thing that we battle with the most. That's what I'm saying. I think that's probably...
So we don't know which one works because you're the discipline and I'm the...
Look at me, I'm a well-rounded individual. Mine is the one that works.
Yeah, I think I'm most afraid that you won't understand about my culture is that a child always remains a dependent. A child always remains being looked after by a parent, even after they're 18. It's never a child's responsibility to have to look after their parent.
I can agree with most of that. I've never said that a child should look after their parent. I mean, yes, you can help out, but I mean, I think when it comes to after a child must always be looked, even after they're grown up. No, once you're grown up, you're grown up.
Yeah, but I think where it becomes challenging is also with finance as well, because I would never ever want my child to feel like they have to financially provide for me, because I see myself as the parent figure and the provider. And yes, they have to stand on their own 2 feet financially eventually, but I wouldn't expect anything back from them because I've raised them, because they didn't ask to be born. Do you know what I mean? True. And I guess that's what the difference I see, and I might be seeing it wrong. Yeah. With your culture, it's almost like the expectation of, well, I've raised you, so now you have to find.
Yeah, it's a lot of. You see, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
We've got our own children now to look after. Yeah, no, so we have to then. That means we have to. And I see a lot of African families doing it. I feel it's quite unfair. Yeah. Burden-wise, because the man's trying to look after his own children, and then his mother, and then his father, and then his brothers, wider family, and sending money across. And It's admirable, but then at the same time,
Yeah, no.
is it fair?
But I think that's just something that's just been ingrained, like this culture.
Change.
It won't change. But I don't agree with it to a certain extent, because that thing of being burdened with looking after the whole family, it's that obligation. It's the feeling of obligation, because you start feeling guilty, and you should never feel guilty.
No, unless that person is really vulnerable, like if that person is really ill and can't work.
Yeah.
And they're widowed or something like that, and then that's different. But it's enabling people to just sit there and wait for this money to come into their bank account. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's my child, they'll look after me.
I know, but you'll find it's not just African culture. A lot of other cultures do that.
I think that's what I'm afraid that you won't understand about my culture. It's completely the opposite way around.
But there, you see, it kind of falls down for me, because that's another thing I see is in the Western culture. But then you don't look after. It goes too far, because you don't look after your elderly. The first opportunity you get, people are just throwing their parents into an old people's home.
Yeah, but that is looking after, because it costs £1,000 a week.
Yeah, but it's not really looking after. You're just paying for them to put them out the way. To me, it always seems like it's like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah,
that's what it feels like.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a flavour for you of what it's like to be in an interracial marriage. I think the key word is definitely balance, and I think after doing that video, although Jabzz and I are kind of still totally on different levels of opinion, we've still managed to meet in the middle on a lot of things. So yeah, balance is definitely the key. Please give us your opinions of what you think it's like to be in an interracial marriage, or what you think are the benefits or the negatives. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment. See you again next time.